Swami Niti Namine. Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Tarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Welcome to day 3 of the Purushottam Kshetra Parikrama. So today we will discuss about two very, very important traditions, festivals, and devotional offerings of Jagannath Puri. One is Ratha Yatra and the other Navakalevara. So we'll start with Navakalevara and we'll go towards the wonderful tradition of Rath Yatra. Can we have the slideshow, please?
So this Navakalevara is a very, very age-old tradition that is followed in Jagannath Puri temple. So we'll try to give you as much information that we have gathered. And, these are from what we have heard from the Pandas, the local devotees in Jagannath Puri temple, and what we have also heard from, our ISKCON devotees, and also what we have, found written in the scriptures. So this is a combination, this session that we have prepared for all of you. We had a lot of fun preparing it for all of you, and we hope that you would also be, enjoying it as we go along to today's Parikrama.
Okay, so next slide, please. As we said, this is Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai. Next slide, please. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham is in the shape of a Shankha, and it's also called Shankha Kshetra. Next slide, please. So Navakalevara. Nava means new, and Kalevara means body. So Navakalevara means new body of Sri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Although they are transcendental, but during this Navakalevara ceremony, the old deities of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and Sudarshan are replaced by new ones. This takes place typically in Ashar month, which is June, July, and it happens to be like the 2 months, double Ashar, or which means one lunar month of Ashar is followed by another lunar month of Ashar, which happens roughly about 12 years. And that's when this Navakalevara ceremony happens. The year which has 2 months of Ashar, that is regarded auspicious for Navakalevara. Again, as we said, roughly about 12 years, sometimes 8 years, sometimes 11 years, sometimes 19 years. And the new bodies of the deities are made out of the newly cut neem trees. It's a very old ritual of this Jagannath temple, but it's very difficult to guess the exact time since how long it has been celebrated. In the 20th century, in the last century, the Navakalevara was celebrated in 1912, then 1931, then 1950, 1969, 1977, and then suddenly in 1996, So
and the last one was in 2015.
Yes. So the deities that are currently being worshipped were installed in 2015, and that happened after 1996. So we can see it's typically 9 years, 9 years, 9 years, and then suddenly it took a jump of 19 years, and then after that again 19 years. So this is the Navakalevara ceremony. Next slide, please.
So this ceremony involves, changing the deities. It's a very, very elaborate ceremony, extremely elaborate. And in fact, it is actually described in four ancient Sanskrit scriptures, which are written on palm leaves. Such scriptures which are written on the palm leaves, they are still there in the Jagannath temple, and it is only visible to the head priest is allowed to read these four scriptures. So the four scriptures that are there, that are
Brahma Yamala, Rudra Yamala, Tantra Yamala, and Niladri Mahodaya. So Brahma Yamala, it's that book that describes the rules and details of worshipping Jagannath. Then there is the wonderful Rudra Yamala, which describes what is the process of worshipping Lord Baladev. Then Tantra Yamala is the description of elaborate processes of deity worship, especially of Subhadra Devi, because it contains many mandalas, symbolic diagrams, which are used in the deity worship. And then Niladri Mahodaya. This Shastra discusses the origins of the temple and the details of every Navakalevara ceremony. So this Navakalevara ceremony is in the Niladri Mahodaya scripture.
So these deities, as we know, they are made out of neem wood. And the first step taken in this connection for Navakalevara, in search of the daru, which is daru means wood. So in search of the wooden logs to create the new deities, this particular process is called as the Bana Yaga Parva. Bana Yaga. Bana means forest, Yaga means going. Vanayaga Parva means going to the forest and searching for these trees. So it is said that the procedure relating to searching of the darus, it begins 65 days, the year that it is supposed to happen with the two Ashad months of July and August. So two Ashada, and one of them actually happens to be the Purushottam Adhikamas. The second Ashad is the Purushottam Adhikamas. So always, during the Purushottam Adhikamas, the Navakalevara happens, after however long it comes. So then 65 days, it is said 65 days before the Snan Purnima festival, which is the appearance day of Lord Jagannath. So that 65 days before that Snan Purnima festival, the search party, this is the search party from the 2015 Navakalevara of Lord Jagannath. So this is the search party of the special pandas who were, this group was formed to search out the deity wood of Lord Jagannath. So this party, they are, very, very special brahmanas and, devotees who have been worshipping Lord Jagannath, through ancestors, like that. They come down from the Daitapatis, they are called. So very, very special, privileged devotees who go out for the search of Lord Jagannath and his brother and sister and Sudarshan. So 4 logs of wood are searched out by this party.
And then after several stops, they actually go to the village of Kakatpur. Next slide, please. Kakatpur is 80 kilometers from Puri, and the oldest member, next slide, please, if we can. The oldest member of this Daitapati family has to sleep in the temple of goddess Bimala or Mangala, which means auspicious one. So he must have a dream during this day in which goddess Vimala Devi, she tells him the exact position, exact location where the trees can be found. So this is 65 days before they walk. They go to this Kakatpur Ma Mangala temple, which is nothing other than the Vimala temple, Vimala Devi temple. And then
So we offer our
she
obeisances here to the deity of Mangala Devi here.
and Mangala Devi reveals which should be the proper neem wood.
And it is also said that, Mangala Devi reveals it to one of the priests. But then there are three head priests. So only one of them is revealed by Mangala Devi, that, where and which village will the specific wood be found for each of the deity. But also the name of the particular village for each deity, and, every detail is found recorded in the Niladri Mahodaya Shastra, the fourth Shastra that we talked about. So in the Niladri Mahodaya Shastra, which only one of those three pujaris are allowed to read, so that pujari reads it, another of the head pujari gets the dream. So then both of them, they keep it secret. And then both of them, they, reveal it to the third. And then the third person, the third priest is said to, see whether both of them are telling the right thing or not. And then this search party decides, yes, Ma Mangala Devi in the dream has said the same thing as is already told in the Niladri Shastra. So they get confirmation from these two sources. It is said Mangala Devi and from the Niladri Shastra, Niladri Mahodaya Shastra. And in fact, the Niladri Mahodaya Shastra, it contains a list of all the places where the trees will be found for each of the Navakalevara festival, which are going into the future for thousands of years. Every which year it is going to come, when the festival will be, which village will the trees be found, where exact location the trees will be found. Everything is revealed in this Niladri Mahodaya Shastra. It is amazing that even though that the specific location is revealed in this Shastra, but there are second, confirmation also through Ma Mangala Devi's dream to the head pujari.
So then next slide, please. The trees that are there for each of the four deities, they will be in a different place. And of course, four deities means Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and Sudarshan. And when the search party locates the places based on the dream to the um, uh, to the Daitya, when the to the Daitapati's family, then they go to that particular place and they may find many trees, but this sacred symbol is found only on one of them. So the location, general location is known, but which exact tree has to be gone there and found. So the selection of this daru, which means the wooden logs, is based on first Sudarshan daru, then Balabhadra daru, Subhadra daru, and Lord Jagannath daru. And after the identification of the neem trees, the search team builds temporary huts near the trees because they have to stay there to perform so many different yagyas and procedures before they cut the tree, because they trees, they are also living beings and they are very fortunate. So there is a lot of yagyas and permissions that are taken, and worship of the tree and all of that before they are actually cut. So here we see that the Daitapatis, they have found the Jagannath Daru, the wooden log of Sri Jagannath. But they should have the following prerequisites. First, they must have a chakra sign on them, on these trees, on this tree, each of the four trees. But for example, Jagannath Daru, it should have a chakra sign. There should be poisonous snakes like cobra that must be hiding under them, or in the nearby anthill. If that's not there, it's not the right tree. There should be a tamarind tree in the vicinity. There should be a funeral yard in the vicinity of each tree. Each tree must have 4 to 7 branches over the main trunk. So here you can see there's the main trunk, and here in the photo we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 branches. And from ground level up to 10 to 12 feet, it should be straight and solid, no branches. So you can see it is straight and solid for how, very high. And then the branches come out. And there should be no nests on the tree tops. That's the qualification prerequisites of the tree that is found. Others are Lord Shiva's temple. There has to be nearby. There has to be a pond nearby. And 3 types of trees must be growing beside it: the Varuna tree, Sahada tree, and Vilua tree. Varuna tree protects from snakes. This tree has the power to destroy all the anger, all the pride. People today often carry a piece of Varuna bark with them if they must meet a bothersome person. They see someone that they want to, they feel angry about, they take a Varuna bark. So then it destroys anger and pride. Sahada tree, it gives the power to forget oneself, very selfless. Vilua tree is the power to cure any disease, even heart disease, cancer, leprosy, those kind of diseases. Vilua tree. And of course, you can't just carry it, you have to chew. When we chew the barks, chew the leaves of these trees, these cures are obtained, but these are very rare trees, very, very rare trees. So these trees have to be growing beside the neem tree, which will be used for this purpose. When all these prerequisites are matched, then there are rituals which happen. There is the homa, there's the fire sacrifice. All the devatas, demigods are invited to give their blessings of the cutting of the tree. First, only the golden axe is touched. Next slide, please. Then the silver axe can actually touch the tree. So here, this is the Baladev tree that's found. First, the Jagannath tree was found. Then Baladev tree is found next. Then chakra tree and shankha engraved on the trees. You can see there is the chakra that is engraved, and shankha is also engraved. You can see the sign of Kongshan, and there's a tilak mark on top of it as well. Next slide, please. These are poisonous snakes that must guard the trees. So this is a prerequisite. Next slide, please. These are the 4 trees of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and Sudarshan. As you can see, they're slightly different color of the bark of the trees. Sudarshan is very red, and Jagannath is black. Subhadra Devi and Baladev is very light colored. So
although all 4 of them are neem trees, but you can see the transcendental, nature of these trees, that they have these very unique colors, So they are transcendental. All 4 of them are neem trees, but they have these specific colors that go with them. It's amazing.
Next slide, please. So gold and silver axes are first touched to the tree. Next slide. And then there is the iron axe, which is used to cut the tree, actually. And there are 108 names of the Lord are chanted continuously. There's a small cart, which has, next slide, please, with 4 wheels, is made up of smaller branches of every tree. You can see this whole cart is made up of the branches of the tree. And the main trunks of the trees are transported on these carts to Jagannath Temple, Puri. So now the trees are cut, of which the branches, they make live right there. They make the cart of the other branches, and then they make the main trunk as and they are transported back to Jagannath Puri. And these darus, these wooden logs, they are ritualistically bathed and they are surrounded with silky cloths, as you can see, with transportation. And this cart here is loaded with daru. It's pulled by all the devotees all the way, just like Rath Yatra. And or everyone, whichever village it passes through, everyone comes and helps uh, in pushing this cart. Then it's taken up in the following order. The transportation is Sudarshan, Lord Balabhadra, then Subhadra Devi, and Lord Jagannath. And this way, this wood enters the Jagannath temple through the northern gate before Snan Purnima. Next slide, please. These woods, they are kept in this place called Koili Vaikuntha, because this is the place where uh, the the old deities, they will be, this is the burial place of the old deities, and this is where the new deities are also brought first. It's in the northwest corner of the Jagannath temple. You can see the Jagannath temple in the background. And then the sacred darus, they are kept here in the same carts in which they were fetched to the temple. And on the day of Snan Purnima, the old deities receive the ceremonial bath on Shriman, on the Snan Mandap, and the darus, which are not yet carved, the uncarved woods of logs of wood, they are also kept together, and they also receive the Snan Purnima bath.
They are based in the Koili Vaikuntha itself. They are not moved from the Koili Vaikuntha, and they are actually bathed in this Koili Vaikuntha, while the old deities of the temple, the main Archa Vigraha deities, during Snan Purnima, when they are bathed, that time in the Koili Vaikuntha, the logs are bathed. So then, after this wonderful Snan Purnima, it is said that, the deities, the old deities, they come back to the temple, and then these logs of wood are actually from Koili Brahma, Koili Vaikuntha or Koili Brahma. They are taken to the Nirman Mandapa. Nirman Mandapa is in the main courtyard of the temple, and it is covered on all sides. So we have unfortunately no pictures to show you, but this is actually a very secretive process. No one is allowed to see the carving of the deities, even including the head pujari. The head priest is not allowed to see the carving of the deity. It is said that the descendants of the dynasty of Vishwakarma, who came to first carve the deities, their descendants are said to carve the deities, assisted by different, other carvers. They are all, together. They are said to be carving the deities. It is said that, can we have the next slide, please? So these are not the original Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, but these are, Jagannath, you can see is in this, Baladev is in the center, Jagannath is on our left hand side, and Subhadra Devi is on the right hand side. They are getting carved, but they are not the original Jagannath Puri.
Because the original deities, you are not allowed to photograph them. They are very secretly carved. Yes. But this is one of the representations.
Yes, one of the representations of the, because you can get life-size deities in Jagannath Puri. So this is how they look. And it is said that the deities of Balabhadra, Subhadra, Devi, Sudarshan, and Jagannath, all of them are carved simultaneously. It is said that Jagannath has 3 carvers, Balabhadra has 3, Subhadra Devi has 3, and Sudarshan also has 3, but they're assisted by at least 50 assistant carvers who, come and help in this process of carving the deities. And it takes them 21 days to actually carve these deities. And while these 21 days, none of the, the carvers, they're allowed to go outside. They do not leave the temple. They eat, the Mahaprasad of the deities, and they just sleep there in the temple itself. They just don't go out. They don't meet their family. They don't do anything for 21 days. And in 21 days, they finish the carving of these beautiful, beautiful deities.
So then, before, next slide, please. Before this Ashar Chaturthi night, the new deities are completed. They are carried inside the inner realm only by the descendants of the Daitapati family of Jagannath temple. They are placed in front of the old deities, facing them. We can see the old deity of Jagannath and the new deity that's carved. And nobody is allowed to go inside. Very, very sacred, private ritual it is. And in the midnight hours, the Brahma Padartha, which is translated as the supreme matter, that is transferred from the old deity into the new one. It's also called the Nabhi Brahma, is transferred uh, by the hereditary, the top authority of the temple, and they are actually blindfolded. You can see the person here is blindfolded. Their hands and feet are also wrapped with thick layers of silk cloths, so the transferee, the person who's transferring, can neither see or feel anything of the Brahma Padartha or the Nabhi Brahma. So many times people are very curious. What is this Brahma Padartha? How does it look like? So there are many different understandings of this. Of course, the Buddhists, they say that this Brahma Padartha is actually the tooth, the sacred tooth of Lord Buddha. The Vaishnavas say, well, this is the Shaligram Shila. And the Shavaras, they have an interesting story. Those who have been the descendants of Vishwavasus who had been serving Nilamadhava, they have a special story because they still continue to serve Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, as Sri Nilamadhava they would serve. They said that they say, and now there may be some uh, inconsistencies with our philosophy, but this is what they believe. Okay, not necessarily the inconsistency with some of the Vaishnava philosophy, but it says that the Jara hunter who mistook Krishna's foot as a deer and then pulled the arrow, he was a Shabara. This Jara hunter was a Shabara. And Jara, he could not burn Krishna's body completely, and the navel portion remained unburnt. And the same was kept inside the deity worshipped by the Shavaras as Nila Madhava. And Vishwavasu was actually a descendant of that Jara and who was worshipping Nila Madhava. And so this Brahma Padarth is also called as Nabhi Brahma, the lotus navel of the Lord. And so this element is transferred from old deities to the new ones in the dead hour of the night, like midnight. And again, they are completely blindfolded and all of that. So till now, no one has seen this Brahma Padartha till now. And the mystery relating to topic is still unraveled. Nowadays, you see some YouTube videos, people saying, oh, this is a very uh, this is a nuclear thing which is there. That is all incorrect. And then, next slide, please.
So then it is said, of course, no one can see when this Brahma Padartha is transferred to the new deity. It is said that a special bhoga offering, this is a very, very sad moment, a special bhoga offering is offered to the Lord, the old deities, their last offering before and it is done before the transferring of the Navi Brahma. It is said this bhoga is called as the Sharbhanga Panti Bhog. Sharbhanga Panti Bhog is offered to the deities. This is the last bhoga to the old deities that they, accept. And right after they eat after they honor the bhoga, then the Nabi Brahma is actually transferred, the Brahma Padartha is transferred to the new deities, and immediately the old deities, they are actually put in the same cart. Remember that same cart in which the new deities were brought? So in that same cart, the old deities are put, and they're taken straight to Koili Vaikuntha. And over there, where already, a place has been dug, the three deities, actually four deities, even Sudarshan, they are put over there, um, buried over there, and they're covered up. Garlands are put all around, and it is said that the previous Jagannath deities, they're all one on top of the other. It's not that they are there all around, like after 19 years or after 12 years, when they are dug up like this, when they are dug up, they can't find any deity. So it is said that Mother Earth just takes them all the way below, all the deities. So they are actually one on top of the other, like that, every set of deities. So they are there in that one location only. So every time they are put in that same location, and they just keep going down. Automatically they go down, keep making way for the next set of deities to become coming over there and residing. So this is the Navakalevara, and it is said that as soon as when they come here at this time, it is said that the Orissa government actually orders a blackout of the entire city, so that even from their rooftops, because as you see, this Koili Vaikuntha is even seen from the outside. So therefore, a complete blackout is announced by the government, and no one is allowed to see what actually happened. So very, 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 very sweet, mysterious kind of leelas Lord Jagannath performs. Very much similar. Lord Jagannath says that's why he's called as the Lord of the universe. Lord of the universe, Purushottama. He is the topmost amongst all beings, basically, Supreme Lord. So Lord Jagannath is saying that just like normal human beings, you catch on a fever. Even I catch on a fever, Lord Jagannath says. After Jagannath is bathed, after Snan Purnima, it is said for 15 days Lord Jagannath suffers with high temperature. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why does he have fever? He has fever, it is explained. The internal reason is that he wants to have very nice, intimate services being offered to him by Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi serves Lord Jagannath. And these 15 days, it is said that the Shabaras who used to worship Lord Nila Madhava, they come and they perform very intimate service when no one else is allowed to see Lord Jagannath. Only the Shabaras come and serve the Lord these 15 days of the year. Very special, intimate Leelas Lord Jagannath does. And then, the Lord, after 15 days, he feels very bored sitting inside. Therefore, he comes out into his procession, which is the Ratha Yatra. Next slide, please. So this is the grand Ratha Yatra of Sri Jagannath Balabhadra Subhadra Devi ki jai.
So just like there is a special story behind the forms of Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, his chariot festival Ratha Yatra has also wonderful mysterious story. These so many deities, they Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, they go out in processions, bestow grace, but Lord Jagannath goes out on another special mission, because after Krishna left Vrindavan Dham, the Vraj Gopis met with him many decades later in Kurukshetra, like we discussed yesterday. And from far and wide, so many devotees had congregated to perform this religious ceremony during a solar eclipse. So the gopis' brief reunion with Krishna, it inflamed within them like a longing for lasting reunion. And so they envisioned that they want to take Krishna back to Vrindavan on a chariot, drawn not by horses, but by the love of the hearts and labor of their hands. So all of this Rath Yatra is nothing but the gopis taking Krishna back from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So when we pull the Lord's chariot, we assist the gopis in their so-called labor of love. And those who are pulling, we are actually being the servant. Gopi Bharatur Padakamalayor Das 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 Anudas. That we become the servant and the servant of the servant of the Lord of the gopis. We actually not only take Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra back to Vrindavan, but also invite Lord Jagannath back into our heart, where he originally belongs. So the first Ratha, next slide. The first Ratha is Baladev, the next Ratha is of Devi Subhadra, and finally at the end comes Sri Jagannath Rath. So here there are the three chariots. The first chariot at the back, Lord Jagannath's Rath, which is at the very back, is called Nandi Ghosh. Then in the middle is, in the front is Baladev's Rath, next slide please, which is called as Taladhvaja. And then Subhadra Devi is in the middle. Her Ratha is called Darpa Dalana. Darpa means pride, Dalana means which crushes the pride. So Darpa Dalana. So this is before the Rath Yatra, the carts are there, and then the Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are brought in a grand procession. So all the devotees are actually carrying Jagannath, and they sway him.
He comes out like this, back and forth, and this crown that he's wearing, it's actually made out of thermocol, and it sways like this. It looks as if a peacock is dancing. Lord Jagannath is so happy to come out of his, 15 days of what we say now? Quarantine. 15 days of quarantine. Lord Jagannath then comes out into the procession. So he's so happy. He's, he's just swaying like a peacock, and he comes out like this.
Next slide, please. This is called Pahundi.
Pahundi celebration.
So we said Taladhvaja, it's Baladev's chariot. Next slide, please. And then Darpadalana, which is Subhadra Devi's chariot. You can see Subhadra Devi in the middle if you see a little closely.
If you zoom out, you can see yellow form right in the center. Very, very sweet. Subhadra Devi sitting in her chariot.
And it is said that when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to live near the Jagannath Puri temple, when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared, then his mother took him near the cart. The Jagannath Rath cart stopped. The Jagannath's Rath chariot, Nandi Ghosh, stopped right outside Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. And devotees were pulling, but it was not going. Yeah, let's go to the next slide, which is Nandi Ghosh. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was pulling. And devotees were pulling, but the Rath was not going out. And so his mother, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's mother, brought him out and touched the baby into Lord Jagannath's lotus feet, and the garland fell from Lord Jagannath onto Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then after that, the Rath started moving. So this is the greatness of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Next slide, please.
So now we come to a very beautiful festival. You see, what happens is that, Jagannath, as we said, that he was, for those right after Snan Yatra, he falls very sick, because he's bathed so much. And then Lakshmi Devi is intimately serving the two brothers and the sister, reviving them. And Lord Jagannath is enjoying her sweet and, intimate seva. And then after 15 days, Jagannath gets bored. He said, now I need to go out and see my devotees. I'm feeling very well, so let me go. So then Lakshmi Devi says, oh, where are you going? Jagannath says, I just need to go out for a stroll. I'll be back tomorrow. I will be right back. I'm just going to go out for a stroll. Sitting at home 15 days, I'm bored. So I need to go out and see my devotees. So Lakshmi Devi, says, okay, can I also come? So Lord Jagannath says, no, 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 Lakshmi Devi, you have served us so much, so beautifully, so sincerely. You must be tired. Why don't you take rest? We'll just go and we'll be back tomorrow. Promise, we'll be coming back tomorrow. No worries. So then Lakshmi Devi says, okay, I will take some rest. You go. And then Jagannath leaves with Balabhadra and Subhadra. And then first day goes by, second day goes by, third day goes by, fourth day goes by, 4 nights are gone, and Jagannath is nowhere to be returning. So Lakshmi Devi is very angry now. So on the fifth day, it is called as the Panchami. Panchami means the fifth day. So she comes, Hera. Hera Panchami means she's coming to see, where is Jagannath? Where is my husband? He said he'll go just for 1 day. And where is he going and sitting? Where is he? So the pandas of Lakshmi Devi, as you can see here, they carry her. They carry her in a big royal palanquin, and they carry her, and she's looking, where is my husband? Where is my husband? And she's coming, and then she sees these big, big chariots, which are just parked right outside the Gundicha temple. It is said that the Gundicha temple represents Vrindavan. Gundicha, remember, is the name of the wife of Maharaj Indradyumna. So the deities were carved there originally. So therefore, the deities go back to, to Gundicha, thinking that that is their original mother's house. So that is why they consider that place to be Vrindavan. So right outside the temple, Gundicha temple, she sees all the 3 chariots are standing there. And then she says, oh, where is my husband? And then Jagannath's pandas, they come out and they say, yes, yes, Lakshmi Devi, do not disturb now. Jagannath is inside. He's enjoying nice worship by all the devotees. Do not disturb now. So Lakshmi Devi gets really offended. She goes really mad. And she says, oh, you're not going to allow me to meet my husband? Okay, see what I'm going to do. So then the pandas, as you can see, next slide, please. As you can see, Lakshmi Devi, she's not even allowed to go inside the Gundicha temple to see Lord Jagannath. So therefore, the pandas, her priests, they actually break parts of Jagannath's chariot. She breaks them in anger, saying that, now let me see how you're going to come back to the temple. So like this, she wants to, chastise her husband. This is the sweet nectarian pastime that goes on. And then, Jagannath's priests, they go and inform Jagannath, but Jagannath is so busy. He is, nicely taking service from all the devotees who come and offer him so many beautiful offerings. And Jagannath says, yeah, she must have come. I'll go and pacify her. Don't worry. I want to spend some more time. I want to spend some more time here. Jagannath doesn't want to go. So then 5th day gone, Lakshmi Devi goes back to the main temple. And then 6th day goes by. 7th day goes by. On the 8th day, now Baladev says, Jagannath, if we don't go today, Lakshmi Devi is not going to allow us inside. So let's go. Enough. Now let's go back. So then Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, they now start coming back. This ceremony on the 8th day is called as the Return Ratha Yatra. So can we have the next slide, please? You can see Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, they are coming back. Return Ratha Yatra, which is called as Ulta Rath. So you can see the Gundicha temple in the background, that they are coming back from Gundicha. They're coming back to the main temple of Jagannath. And when they come, it is said, Lakshmi Devi, she is standing on guard. And when she's standing on guard, Baladev, Subhadra, Jagannath, all of their chariots are standing in a line. They want to come inside. So let's see they want to come inside the Jagannath temple. And let's see what Lakshmi Devi does. Next slide, please. So Lakshmi Devi, she says, okay, Balabhadraji, welcome, Swagatam, come inside. She allows Baladev inside. Subhadra Devi, oh yes, my dear sister-in-law, please come inside. Please come inside. Welcome. She welcomes both of them. As soon as Jagannath is about to enter, look at her face. She says, stop. You are not allowed inside. You said you'll return the next day, and now you're coming after 8 days, 7 nights, you're coming back. You're not allowed inside. So then Jagannath is now pacifying Lakshmi Devi. And, look at Subhadra Devi. She's going, Jagannath, you can't come in. We have gone in, The Pandas, they make such beautiful stories. So I'm just repeating what we've heard. So Baladev is laughing that, oh, Jagannath, look at you. You're not allowed inside. And Subhadra Devi is going, oh, Jagannath, you're not allowed. Look, we went inside. So she's making jokes like this at her brother. And Jagannath is like, oh, please, Lakshmi Devi, please allow me. And then he starts offering gifts to start pacifying her. First, he offers saris, then he offers jewelry and ornaments. But still, Lakshmi Devi is not satisfied. Still, she's saying, no, I will not let you come in. You're not allowed inside. You cannot come inside. And then Jagannath then says, okay, Lakshmi Devi, this is my final try. So you see here, Jagannath, he's holding a pot of rasagullas behind in his hand. And then he comes, look, Lakshmi Devi, what I have for you. This pot of rasagullas. And Lakshmi Devi said, oh, rasagullas. Okay, now you can come in. So then it is said that on the 8th day, when Jagannath is entering, the entire Jagannath Puri, the entire Puri Dham, the only sweet that is made that day is actually rasagullas. So rasagullas are everywhere. Lakshmi Devi's pandas, Jagannath's panda, everyone is eating buckets and buckets and buckets of rasagulla on this last day. And then Lakshmi Devi allows Lord Jagannath to come inside. So this is the beautiful pastime of, Sri Ratha Yatra, the conclusion of Sri Ratha Yatra, and the glory of this wonderful Leela of Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath, he is showing us by these beautiful pastimes, nectarian pastimes of the Lord, that look, I'm also one of you. Just like your wives get angry with you, what you have to do to, pacify your wives, I do that too to my wife, So Lord Jagannath is trying to, relate, make himself relatable to us. That is why he is called as the most merciful. The exact, word that is used for him is Mahabhav Prakash. He is so merciful that he wants to be one of us. This is the mercy of Lord Jagannath. He considers himself to be a Nilachal Dham Vasi. He is not like, he doesn't like to be treated as the Lord. He likes to be treated as part of the family. So this is how, Lord Jagannath manifests such beautiful, beautiful nectarian sweet pastimes. And see how sweetly he's carrying these rasgullas and satisfying his wife, Lakshmi Devi. So this is the beauty of Lord Jagannath.
Next slide, please. Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. So our only prayer is, Lord Jagannath, please attract our hearts so we may be able to attentively absorb ourselves in hearing and chanting your name, form, qualities, and pastimes and get taste for them. Anyone who pulls the Ratha rope of the Lord, of the Rath Yatra, and visualizes Lord Jagannath sitting on the chariot, at what happens is something very special. At the time of death, everyone's entire life goes past their vision in a moment. If at any point of time we have pulled the Rath of Lord Jagannath through the ropes of love, that whole movie that goes around in a flash, it stops right there at the point when in our life we were pulling the robes of Lord Jagannath, and then we can have darshan of Lord Jagannath while leaving our bodies. So it is very, very auspicious. Not just auspicious. This is the secret of us going back home, back to Godhead. If we can pull the Rath of Lord Jagannath in the mood of the gopis bringing Lord Jagannath from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan, then at the time of death we can have the darshan of Lord Jagannath, where our life movie will stop right there at that flash, and we can go back home, back to Godhead, to Jagannath Swami.
So we were thinking of concluding our session today by singing Jagannath Bhajan, like Prabhu sang so beautifully yesterday. We got so many requests that we can again repeat that same kind of bhajan. So in honor of all of your requests, we will again sing Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath,
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath.
Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me.
Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me.
Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra.
Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me.
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 Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath. Nilachala Chandramu Prabhu Jagannath, Rohini Nandana Jaya Baladev. Jai Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra.
Jai Shri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani ki Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath Swami. So if there's any.
All right. If there are any questions or comments, we can take now. We and open the lines for questions. Hare Krishna. Yes, Garima.
Krishna wants to talk first.
Oh,
Jai
Jagannath!
Jagannath.
Jai Ho! Jagannath Balram Subhadrani ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Jagannath.
You want to say?
You missed Jagannath.
Oi, that's Shubhadra. Jai Baladev. So sweet. You made that, Krishna?
Did you make it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hari.
so wonderful. You're such a talented boy.
Mommy to this. He's saying that Krishna made Jagannath and I made Subhadra and Baldev.
Oh, Hari Bol.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Say.
Wow. Jai.
Jai Jagannath.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I have one question. What's that? Krishna is like Krishna is saying that now worship me or be done with me, and he's saying all that. So now I feel he's becoming proud because he's saying worship me, now pay down with me, do all this to me. So I don't understand.
Well, if a beggar comes and says that I'm a millionaire, then that is pride. Or even, but when a millionaire comes and says I'm a millionaire, he is. It's a fact. Similarly, Krishna is coming and saying, I am the Supreme Lord, and for your benefit, I'm telling you something. I'm Atma Ram. I have nothing to do, but I'm only yearning for your love. And from your current condition, I want to rescue you. The only way to get rescued is to go back to your original position. Your original position is to participate in my enjoyment. I want you to come back to my enjoyment for your benefit. I'm telling you, you pay obeisances. For your benefit, I'm telling you that you worship me. Just like sometimes your mummy, your mother must be saying that follow what I'm saying. That you should baat meri mano, something like that. I don't know in Gujarati how you say it, but your mother must be telling you, you should follow what I'm saying. Why? Because then you will be benefited. If suppose you are walking and then your mummy says, walk properly, hold my hand, don't run on the street. Will you say, you're so proud? Why are you telling me to hold your hand? How can you say, hold my hand? That means you're so proud. No, she's saying, hold my hand because it's beneficial for you. Nothing will happen to me. I'm trying to save you. That's why I'm saying, hold my hand, hold my hand. And so that's how Krishna is saying, hold my lotus feet. It's beneficial for you. Otherwise, you'll run around and you'll get crushed here and there. So we should see it that Krishna is saying out of his love and out of his mercy that worship me and pay obeisances to me, you will be benefited. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I have another question. So, how can I preach in Purushottam month? Like, I'm trying to preach other people, so I don't know how to preach them.
How are you trying? What are you doing?
Like in my school,
Mhm.
I'm writing Hari Bol, Hari Krishna in the typing box, but
Mhm. No one is
nah,
saying anything?
no, they are the teacher and all. The teacher is just deleting it when I'm just
Oh,
writing.
that's okay. Sometimes when in the school, when we are, certain things maybe not perceived well, but maybe what you can do is in this Purushottam month, um, something that you can do by sitting at home while you're sitting at home, or sometimes do you ever go out a little bit, by wearing a face mask or something? You go out with your mommy to go for groceries? Do you go out with mommy? No?
No.
No. Okay, then no need. But then mommy has a Facebook account? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So in that Facebook you write that Hare Krishna, this is Purushottam month. I want to do something special and tell everyone about Krishna. Make a nice video, put it on the Facebook, see how many likes you're getting. That is preaching. You are preaching that way.
So how do I preach to my teacher and all my friends because they're not becoming devotees?
Oh,
The
yes.
best way that you can actually reach to them is by being a very good student, because they will actually be attracted to Krishna by your behavior. If you be nice friend to them, and you are very you're always respectful to them, and you are very good in studies as well, then they will come and see what is the secret. How are you so nice? How come you are able to behave so nicely? Then you can tell, you know why? Do you want to know the secret? It's because I chant Hare Krishna. It's because you can give them a book of Srila Prabhupada and say, this is why. Because I eat prasad every day. Do you want to share some prasad? You give them prasad. You share your food. You share your tiffin, or you share your lunch sometimes. There you offer the food that you bring from home. You distribute it to them little bit. Distributing, they will not say no to any food, correct?
Yeah.
If you give,
But
so you
But
offer.
but I
now you're homeschooling. Now you're doing school from home, right?
Actually, traditionally being homeschooled, this year only we have put her in online 2-3 classes. So
Okay.
there is a teacher and kids.
Okay.
Other
Okay.
homeschooled.
So best is if you can offer bhoga and distribute prasad. If you cannot do that, of course, whether you do that or not, along with it, you must also have good behavior and be nice and respectful to them, and be very friendly to them. Don't be proud or anything, and then do very well in your studies. If you do good in your studies, they will all idealize you, and then you are representing Krishna. You are Krishna's representative for them. And if they say, oh, if Krishna's representative is so nice and brilliant, how brilliant Krishna must be. And in this way you can glorify Krishna by your example, by your behavior. Does that make sense? But if our behavior is not nice, and if we are not you know doing well, then people will just say, oh yeah, yeah, because she chants Hare Krishna, that's why she's like this. So then they will not be attracted to Krishna consciousness. So by your example, by your behavior, you can attract them. Yes.
thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Bacha. You're very welcome. You're very special, Garima. So by your sweet behavior, you can make everyone into a devotee. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was loved by his demoniac friends. They loved Prahlad so much. So like Prabhu said, You make everyone love you, they will automatically love Krishna. Okay?
Please bless me so I can become a wonderful devotee.
You are already blessed, but we will definitely pray. Hare Krishna.
Hari
You become a nice devotee of Srimati Radharani.
Jai.
And Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharaj. Ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much.
Hari Bol.
So much.
Thank you, Bacha. So, Madhubhashini Mataji, Kirti, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. I have 2 questions, Mataji, but before I share my 2 questions, I want to say that I really like the slide with the picture of Lakshmi Devi and when the Baladev and Subhadra was in the palace and Jagannath was the only one left out. I really like that picture. And yeah, so my 2 questions, my first question is, so I forgot the name, but it's the thing where they keep the whole Jagannath inside. Why are people not allowed to see it? Why can't everybody see Jagannath being buried? He's Jagannath. He's Lord for the whole universe. Why can't people all see him being buried?
It is generally not a nice scene. You know, devotees cry when they see the last bhoga offering to Jagannath. And, it is at the same time, some people who do not have faith, they will start saying, oh, your Jagannath, they'll start misinterpreting it in so many different ways. The understanding is Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra are eternal. They are very transcendental, they're deities. But then this will give people the chance to make fun of others, make others feel devotees like that. So therefore it's done in secret. Everyone knows it's being done, but it's not publicized, or it's not like a festival to celebrate in one sense. The celebration is for the new Jagannath deities to come. But for the other Jagannath deities, everyone bids their farewell during the bhoga offerings, last bhoga.
I have 2 more questions. So my other question is, so I think in yesterday's session, I saw a picture with Jagannath holding the conch shell. Does Jagannath hold a conch shell, or does Jagannath hold a flute?
He actually has, when Jagannath manifests his 4-handed form, then he holds a flute. He also holds a conch shell. He also holds the Sudarshan, So Sankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and he also has the flute. So he holds all of them. Everything. He holds all of that. So, but in his 2-handed form as Jagannath, he holds in one hand, he holds the conch, one hand he holds the chakra, and the flute is kept tucked inside his waist.
My last question is that so Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the USA, he was trying to preach to a lot of new people and get them into Krishna consciousness. Mm-hmm. So the little things you do, like it's kind of like Garima's question, but a little different. So how could we make a difference? Because I once wrote a essay about vegetarianism, but people were like, wow, it's nice, but it never didn't do anything that much. So how does Prabhupada make a difference? He tries his level best to talk a little bit about Krishna consciousness, but how does it make the difference in the world? So I might just write a essay, but people would just say, okay, good job, and it's a nice content, but how does it make a difference in the world?
So even your essay made a huge difference in the world. It's just not visible immediately, because it's said that there is something called the butterfly effect. Have you heard of this butterfly effect?
No,
That
Prabhuji.
somewhere across the ocean, a butterfly may flap its wing, because of which there will be a small pressure of air that will be generated. And then it has a ripple effect. It goes as it moves forward, that flapping of wing, the air that was displaced, it moves forward, forward, forward. Finally, it gathers some strength, and it comes near the ocean. Then the ocean accelerates it and accentuates that, and eventually, by the time it goes across the ocean, it has become a storm. So this is called the butterfly effect. That butterfly just flapped its wings, but over time, and with the help of so many more accelerators, it actually caused a storm. So the butterfly actually didn't know that it caused a storm. If you ask the butterfly, do you know, the butterfly is thinking, I didn't make any difference in the world. I just flapped my wing. What effect did it make? Ask the people on the other side of the ocean. You caused a storm for them. So similarly, when we chant Hare Krishna, just by saying Hare Krishna, we didn't see any effect. But then so many millions of living entities have been delivered, small microbes and bacteria. And then the environment, just by a devotee chanting himself, the environment gets purified. And it has so many different positive effects which we cannot perceive immediately, but it does make a difference. In fact, Srila Prabhupada said, why don't we chant to the plants and the insects? They get immediate benefit. So it's a question of, do we really want to make a difference, or do we want to see that difference being made? So sometimes we are more eager to see that difference being made. That difference will be made by Krishna. We are only doing a minute, minuscule endeavor. That's all we can do, because we cannot, first of all, to make a difference, we have to understand, I am not qualified to make a difference. I can't. I'm just a very infinitesimal living entity. That is what Srila Prabhupada's mood was. Remember the prayer that he wrote in Jaladuta, Markine Bhagavad Dharma? He just said, I don't know how I'm going to tell this message to everyone. And how will they understand? They are all immersed in the modes of passion and ignorance. Please, na chao, Prabhu, na chao e mote. Please make me dance, give me the power, please. You can actually make that difference. I cannot, but I am willing to act as a humble instrument in your plan, if you so wish. My Guru Maharaj has asked me, I've come here. So he never came with the idea that he's going to make a huge difference and all these things will happen. He just wanted to be a humble instrument, understanding I'm just an infinitesimal living entity, but I want to be the instrument of the infinite. And when we are, the more humble we are, the more we practice humility in our life, the more Krishna will use us as instruments to do big things. Then you can see a big difference. But then we should not aspire to see that big difference. Srila Prabhupada, in his preface to Bhagavad Gita, not the introduction, before the introduction, there is a preface to Bhagavad Gita. He writes, go and read the last line. That inspired me very much. When I first read the Bhagavad Gita, do you know what Prabhupada says there? He says, the last line of the preface, that with this endeavor, even if one person becomes a devotee, I will consider my translations of Bhagavad Gita to be a success. He didn't say, unless millions and millions of followers I make, this is useless. No, just one devotee. That was his goal. That was his aspiration. And because he was so humble about it, and he focused on quality rather than the quantity of quality then appeared. So this is the way we do it. When we are, you gave the vegetarian essay. Along with that, you could present actual vegetarian prasad and say, this is the essay, this is the prasad. Take some cookie prasad or whatever vegetarian prasad, and here's the essay about it. And there are so many different ways. Krishna will then give so much intelligence, which you are already doing. You are having the right mood. Just don't be anxious that you have to do like big preaching. Just be focused on doing your endeavor. Even if you're doing small preaching, you have a program, 2 people come, 5 people come, very good. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for, say, thank you, Krishna, thank you. 5 people came for me to listen to me. 2 people came to listen to me through you. Please give me. And when Krishna sees that you are so grateful for whoever he's sending you, then he will send you more if he wants to. But we are just always dependent on Krishna. We cannot do big preaching, but unless he wants us to. So we just wait to be his instruments. Be always ready to keep ourselves sharpened so that we can immediately be used as his instrument. I'm sorry for the long answer. It was a 10-mark answer for a 2-mark question, but I just got into the flow. Sorry,
Yes,
but thank you.
Prabhu. Thank you for answering my question. Please bless me so I can preach more of the holy name. Thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Lots of love to you, Kirti. Thank you. Amazing sincerity. Thank you, Kirti. So we have a question from Manju Mataji. There's a bit confusion. Is Bimala Devi and Lakshmi Ji both are the same? Bimala Devi, if you remember the first day, we spoke about the Mahaprasad, the glories of the Mahaprasad. So Bimala Devi is none other than Parvati Devi, the wife of Lord Shiva. And Lakshmi Devi is the goddess of fortune, the Sahadharmini, the wife of Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu. So there is a difference between the two. And there's another question from Jamuna Priya Mataji saying that is Shubhadra the Yoga Maya in the spiritual world? And is this Shubhadra the same as Arjuna's wife Shubhadra? Yes to both. This Shubhadra Devi is the wife of Arjuna, and she is Yoga Maya in the spiritual world. Yes. Hare Krishna.
All right. Any questions? Any more questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Aji, Advait Chandra Prabhu and Aji Kala Sadhu Mataji. Koti Dandavat Pranam to take us in Shidam Vrindavan. Shidam Vrindavan Dham also, and especially Shri Jagannath Puri Dham. All the Leelas, and like when Subhara Rani is, that expression you explained so nicely. So that so, and when they come back, and all the 15 days Jagannath ji is ill, and when they come to give a darshan, we are so fortunate that only Jagannath come out from the temple and give us darshan, and that Leela is also very nicely explained. I take only one 50 second. Can you please sing this bhajan tomorrow? Jai Jai Jagannath Sachidanandan, Tribhuvana Kore Jai Charana Vandan, Nila Chale Sankha Chakra Padma Garachar, Nadia Nagari Danda Kamandula Kar, Nila Chale Sankha Chakra Gada Padma Gar, Nadia Nagari Dandal Kamandula Kar, Jai Jai Jagannath Sachidanandan, Tripura Kore Jai Charanavandan. Thank you. Koti Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai Jai.
We were actually about to sing it today, but it was too ecstatic. So we wanted to sing Jai Jagannath. So yes, we can sing that tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we get the answer of so depressed yesterday night, not able to sleep, that the Vaishnava or the material person nature is to bichu ki tarah dang dena hota hai. But when the Vaishnava will hurt her, then it is Prabhuji not able to bear it. But I get all the answer from the keys. You give the answer to Kirti and I get all the answer. Thank you. Koti koti dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sham Vallavi Mataji, thank you very much for a wonderful session. It is said we can get deities made from the same daru. Please advise. They do say that. They do say that in Jagannath Puri, that, from the branches, of the leftover part of the deities, that, smaller deities are made. They do say that. And when the Pandas are saying that, Jagannath Puri devotees are saying that, then we take it on that face value. We do not question it, because, they are made in that way with that devotion by the Pandas. So we accept it. We do not doubt their intention. Lord Jagannath will not like that. So we just go by what their faith is and we accept it. Lord Jagannath will be pleased by it. So that, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Keshavi Mataji, question?
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Mataji, first I would like to thank you that you're all giving these wonderful classes to enlighten us and get immersed in Krishna conscious and able to fall in love with the Lord. I have two questions actually, both are related. First question is, we hear the pastimes of Subhadra Devi more with respect to Lord Jagannath and Baldev, all these pastimes. Are there more pastimes of Subhadra Mai where we can know more about Subhadra Devi so that we can share with our congregation devotees? And second question is, I've heard that Vasudev had other children apart from Balram and Krishna. So are there any more pastimes of them or is that true statement? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, about Subhadra Devi, it is very much, a little bit explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam about her relationship with Krishna Balaram in regards to Devaki and Vasudev. When Krishna Balaram come to Mathura, there is a little brief explanation about that in Subhadra Devi's life, and also when she got married to Arjuna. And because that is also explained, in detail about how, Arjuna, she was the only, because when Arjuna was in this, tour, he married every state he went to, he married a princess, but he left the princesses there in their respective states. He only brought back Subhadra to Indraprastha. So Subhadra Devi is very special as the Yogamaya sister of Krishna. And Devaki and Vasudev, of course, they had, if you're asking Vasudev if he had other children, yes, he had many wives. It is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He had many wives and he had many children with them. But with Devaki, with Mother Devaki, he had 6 children, apart from Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra, who were revived by Krishna and Balaram. And then they were, sent back also. So that is how it is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
If not, we can end here. Thank you so much for your association and for your patient listening and your attachment to hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Jai
Vancha,
Jagannath.
yeah.
Vancha
Vancha kalpataruhyascha kritapurvavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank